Okay, hello. Welcome to Otis Frampton Live. I am Otis Frampton. It's true. Calling an audible today. I know on the schedule, talked about commissions, but I didn't have something ready to work on today that was at the state where I thought I was ready to work on anyway. So I'm going to work on some on a Java piece that I've been trying to fix for a while now. I've talked about this piece before, but I'll show it again. Take about an hour to do this. So let me show you the original piece here real quick. So here's the original one, and I've been sort of on a tear to fix up some of my Java Adventures fake covers and turn them into pieces that I could. Where's a good example of one that I could use as prints. Like this one was only done at a lower res for the fake Java Adventures cover, so I redid it and recomposed it to work well as a single image without the logo and stuff. So, and the same thing, where is it? Where am I? Here. Same thing applies to this one. I created it in the file with the logo and stuff, and I created it for the logo. So it really wasn't composed correctly. So I went in, actually re-inked it because I could not find the original scan of this for some reason. So I had to re-ink it digitally. And then I'm going to recolor it. You can see how I kind of recomposed it, recropped it. There's the original elements there. It's in there. And I actually went in, I'm going to add some stuff to it too. Kind of flesh it out a little bit. I still wanted this space for the twin suns and sort of the setting suns, but there's some areas where I felt like I could add some things. And in fact, let's do this real quick. Let's slide this over just slightly. Whoops. No, let's do things right. There we go. Let's slide this. Oh, why is it not doing that? That's weird. Oh, it's not in the same folder. Oh, I'm sorry about this, guys. Let me get things correct here for a second. Just gonna slide that. There we go. Now I'm gonna actually go in here. I'm gonna shift the bike over just a little bit. Get it so it's not so close. Let's give it a little space between. There we go. The Jawa and the bike. I'm really happy about this piece. Let me just want to say also, I'm watching the chat on Instagram, YouTube, and Rumble. So if you're in there and want to chat with me, please do. The idea of this piece obviously is a Jawa stops at a little power station on Tatooine, and the symbol for whatever Tatooine gas station there is the double suns, and it's shown here. But also I had him. I had the Jawa sort of create his own little motor scooter out of a gonk droid. You can kind of see elements of the gonk droid. So that's the idea behind that. Now I'm going to go in here and just finish up the line art finish adding stuff to the line art. Am I in the right layer? No, I am. I want to extend the windshield. as well as maybe putting a couple nicks in it. Give it some character. There we go. And I kind of wanted to throw like something back here with a radio on it, maybe. I'm listening to the John Williams Superman soundtrack. I just watched the new teaser trailer for the upcoming Superman movie, and I'm kind of in that mood. I usually don't watch trailers, but something made me want to watch this one. And I'm glad I did. I watched it on the YouTube app in VR on the MetaQuest, and it was spectacular. Really felt like I was in a movie theater watching it on the big screen. It felt epic. So don't know why I chose to watch this one. I felt maybe I felt like if I didn't, I'd be missing out on something. Plus, I kept seeing screenshots from it everywhere online, so I'm like, well, I might as well watch it. I don't like that. Let's. There. Oops. Forgot to add the most important part. Now let's fix the mess we made here. How do I want to fix this? Just a little digital surgery for the mess that I made. There we go. Okay. Let's get rid of this ground. Okay, now I can put the flats back in there. All right. Let's turn off the rough so I can see what I'm doing. After I finished the digital inks for this, I gave it to my wife to flat, and she changed the colors on something. I mean, maybe it's just her throwing a color on there. I tell her, whenever she does flats, if you don't know what the color is, just throw something in there. It's, I'll just be able to select it, so I can be able to select it and recolor it myself. But let me show you what I'm talking about. Did she not color that? That's weird. So here's the original one, and I gave the pumping station here kind of a warm color. And in retrospect, now that I've seen what she did, which is this, she gave it a blue color, and it'll definitely help it pop against that. But I feel like it's too close to the Jawa, and I feel like maybe changing the color on that will set it apart better. So no matter what instinct drove her to do that, I think it was a good one. But I'm going to change a few things. Let's see. No, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is this. Give it just a little bit lighter color. Hello again, Sir George. How you doing today? Make that light. I think I want to darken up this. Give it some variety. Oops. Let's just merge those. Almost done with the flat stuff. It was too bright. Here we go. I think I'm going to pull this out of there, put it on the background layer, so I can deal with that separately. Hey, I added something to my or updated my schedule for my live streaming through the month of January. And I will be doing a Procreate Dreams demo. It's going to take 6 days. I'll be doing it Monday, Wednesday, Friday for 2 weeks. So George says, looking forward to Christmas, packing up and going away for the holidays. Have a good holiday. Anyway, I'll be doing a Procreate Dreams animation demo. Actually, let me get rid of that too. Featuring an image that I've posted on my socials. It's this sort of alien dude in a space car. Not a space car, but it's more like a flying car, like a Blade Runner-esque kind of thing. And gonna have him flying at night in the rain. some tunes going, and he's gonna have a little bit of animation on him. I'm just gonna try to touch on like 6 or 7 different areas of animation, and should be fun. And it features a song that I made in GarageBand, so everything's homegrown. That should be fun. Gonna tweak something here before I start throwing shade on this thing. Well, I thought I was. Oh, let's. Sorry. There. All right. I think I'm gonna do something funky here, just to lay down a base color. Let's get rid of, I'm going to use the original image here, get rid of the title stuff. I'm just going to that didn't work the way I wanted to. All right, we're not going to do that. What we're going to do is this. I'm just gonna paint it. Like I always tell people, Procreate might not have gradients, but it does have paintbrushes. So just get in there and brush away. So I'm just going to use my own stuff as reference. Throw those colors back on. Might as well do it by hand, right? Why pretend? Why act like you can't do that? Just gonna get the basic colors. Let's get some oranges in there. Okay. Let's blur it up just a little bit. Duplicate it. Let's see if we can brighten it up and bring it down. Switch to like a cloud brush here. Now I'll go in and put the suns in later, but I wanted to kind of throw down sort of a basic color gradient down there. All right, now I will get to business. Sir George on Instagram asks, so you did music? Yeah, I have a little bit of a background in music, not like professionally, but you know, I was in a bunch of bands in high school, did a lot of songwriting, still tinker at it. And for the animation piece that I'm going to be doing, I was going to do something original, and then I found this old piece. It wasn't a piece really, it was just like, you know, playing around. But I made it in GarageBand, and I'm like, that's perfect for what I need. And then it's like a good length, and because of the way that the song kind of progresses, it's only 40 seconds long, but it's like, oh, that gives me some character stuff too, because he can like just be calm at first, and then he can kind of get into it, and then he can really kind of bob his head to it, because it escalates the song. And so I thought, well, that's really good. That's a good. I like that. So let me just fix something here real quick. So yeah, I love playing around with music. I wish I had more time to do it. I just don't. but I still tinker at it. Still play around every once in a while. Got a few guitars that I play around with. Picked up when I got out of the hospital in October of last year after my month-long stay. As a sort of reward for surviving, I bought myself it's a small guitar. I forget what it's called, but it's like carbon fiber, and it's really kind of neat. It's a dual electric acoustic, and it's sitting over there in the corner right now. It's really neat to play around with. What is it doing? I think I want. Actually, I think I want this to be darker. I'm going to get to the shading in a second here, I promise. Anyway, but yeah, the music for this piece will be my own work. Okay, I want that to be dark. And then a few highlights on this. Right there. To separate it. Here we go. That's better. And now on to shading. We're gonna, oops. That's one of the fun parts for me. Playing around in animation is once in a while I get to do music and stuff like that. I wish I had more time for it. I miss doing music, making music. Being in bands was some of my favorite memories. I was in 3 bands in high school and just after high school. Not at the same time, obviously, but some of my best memories of my youth are from those days. God, it was fun. I miss it. Sorry, I keep catching things that I need to fix. There we go. Now on to the shading. I didn't do music for a few years, like in my 20s and very early 30s, and then when I got my first Mac, actually it was GarageBand that made me even consider using a Mac, switching from PC to Mac, because GarageBand was like, oh my god, this is awesome, this is what I've been waiting for, I can tinker around with music on my own. So GarageBand is responsible for getting me back into music. I need to do something real quick. Let me just share this. Is it JPEG? I'm going to use Procreate's reference feature. I'm going to throw that image in here. I probably could have just imported it, copy and paste. What was I doing? But what's done is done. If you didn't know about that, you can actually have a little reference there, right in Procreate. Sometimes, as you've seen, I use something called BizRef, where you can have your own reference and then split screen, use it that way. But if I'm just using one image for reference, I'll use the come on, there it is. I'll use the native Procreate reference, and what I'm doing here is I want to see how I shaded it before. Looks like I went heavy on the rim light there, so oops. And I'm gonna stick to what I did before because I'm happy with how it turned out. So basically just referencing myself here. That's where the missus missed something. One of the things that I love comics. I love making comics. It's it's a medium that you can tell that I love doing. But one of the things that is a limitation that frustrates me, and when people say, "Oh, comics is the ultimate medium," I've seen people say comics is the ultimate medium. I'm like, well, you can't do sound. You can't do sound in music. And I feel like that's a limitation. You can only do sort of perceived sound and music via images, and that's frustrating to me as somebody who loves music in storytelling and sound effects. But one of the things I'm looking forward to, if Oddly Normal, my current image series, gets turned into an animated series, which, cross your fingers, we're back on that road again. It's been optioned many times over the years, and it's back on the path. So cross your fingers. Anyway, if that happens, I look forward to being able to incorporate music and sound effects into that. I think I'm going to go a little softer actually on the shading. Whoops, for this thing over here. So it has a little bit more of a rustic, softer, kind of beat up look. On the edges, I mean. It's not so sharp. Let me check my chats. Yeah, so music and animation are two things that I love doing that I don't get to do much of because they don't really fall within the parameters of my actual work, you know what I mean? So it's always fun for me to get to do that. When I was younger, I kind of dabbled in everything, So I just wish there was like 5 of me, basically. No, let's keep that in shadow. Especially now that, there's so many amazing tools and toys to work with that weren't around when I was younger. My brief time in post high school, I went to community college for a couple of years, and I was in the film program, and it was still, the analog world. It was still, you actually had to use a film camera, have your film developed, and oh god, it was so frustrating to me. And that's when I got back into drawing and comics, and I'm like, well, maybe I'll just do this because it's you can do it as a one-man band a lot easier, and that's what I do. That's one reason why I tend to do everything myself. It's because I like that aspect of comic making. that can be done by one person. And I got back into comics right when Image was, literally right when Image was founded, and those guys broke off from Marvel and did their own thing. I hadn't even heard about them because I was I didn't read comics in high school. I read it in elementary school and took a break, and in junior high I stopped reading them in high school, and that's when the Image guys kind of came into prominence. So I didn't even know who like Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee were. So it was kind of a revelation to me. And when I got back into comics and decided I wanted to do that, they were sort of the example to me of like, well, this is how you do it, And there was an indie scene back there that was lively, so that to me was the way to do it. That's how I'm still doing it. Thank God for Image. They took a huge risk breaking away from Marvel like that at the height of their popularity. Huge risk and really great reward for sure, right? But that's one of the reasons why when I pitched out Oddly Normal for the in early 2014, just on a whim, I didn't think anybody would try to pick it up. I was going to self-publish it, but I sent it out to 7 different companies, and Image was the one that I thought was like the biggest long shot. I'm like, they're never going to publish an all-ages title. They're never going to. It's not going to happen. But they're the ones that kind of got you back into comics, so why not take that shot? And when I got offers back from 2 publishers, Image was the clear favorite for me, for many reasons, but that's one of them for sure. The other company would have taken 50% of the property, and I wasn't going to have that. Sorry. That's if I was going to learn any lesson from Image, it's own your stuff. What did I do here? No, that's what I did. I can double up later. Maybe I do that now. I'm talking to myself sometimes. Sorry about that. You're like, what is he talking about? It'll become clear, I promise. And one of the benefits of making sure that I retain the ownership of Oddly Normal is now if it's ever going to be adapted, and like I said, cross your fingers because we're working on it again. I control where it goes, who it goes to, and hopefully what happens to it. Which would be cool because, like I said, film school was where I was at when I decided to do comics. The film program. It was a film program in the community college, so it wasn't really film school, but that's why I was there. It's the only film place I could afford. And it was local, so. It's always been a dream of mine to get to that place. I know some people in comics look down upon that, but that's where I started out. It's always been a goal of mine. What's I doing? There we go. Still watching the chat, so if you want to ask me anything or chat with me, what did I do there? I gave it some weird. Oh, I remember what that. Now I remember. That's why I had to re-ink this. I did have a scan of it, but you can see in there. I used some water or some ink wash in it, and I had to kind of work around that. I wasn't crazy about some of the texturing that happened because I forgot to scan it before I added the ink wash. That's why you can see it in there. Now it gives it kind of a cool texture, but I thought it was way too extreme, and it didn't allow me to shade things the way that I wanted to digitally, which is what I usually do. All right, well that explains that. Where was I? Yeah. Totally forgot about that. Yeah, sometimes sometimes I use ink wash on some of the traditional pieces because I inked it traditionally because I knew I was going to be able to sell it. But I usually scan it before the ink wash goes on because it gives it cleaner, and I'll be able to do more in the coloring that way. Wasn't smart enough this time. That's why I had to redo it, the inks. But I would have had to recompose it anyway. So it all worked out. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is select that shaded area there. I'm going to go in. Give it a little more on the side there. Everything's mostly in shadow here because of where the sun is. So, but I want to give a little bit more over here just to help with the volume of things. Come on, what's going on here? There we go. Having to create all these layers as I go along, which is weird to me because I usually work from templates that I create of various size and formats. They're already pre-made with a lot of the layers and layer modes that I usually use, so it's weird having to actually create these as I go. Do that pretty much for everything unless it's a really weird shape that I'm working from, or if I'm say if I'm starting from scratch on something like this. But usually I'm working in similar formats, similar sizes. I definitely recommend that. It just saves you time and energy, especially if you know that you have a working method and you can set up layers ahead of time to reflect that. Oh, I just noticed something. Let me fix this. There we go. My stomach's making noise. I apologize for that. Oh, look at that. Gotta fix that. Can't have that like that. I'm worried that it's too light. I may have to fix this later, but I'm gonna go in real quick. Grab a dark color. Copy, paste that down. Sometimes when I get going like this and I'm like just narrating what I'm doing, I feel like Bob Ross. Oh, you might stick on. I'm gonna leave that off for now. Oh, it does work actually. I just need to bring a little more pink in there. But I'll leave this here. What I will do is get rid of this. Oops. Nope, come on. Choose the right brush. There we go. One of the things that gave me this idea for this piece is that, Tatooine has the moisture evaporators. They pull moisture from the sky. Well, they've got two suns. Why aren't they really doubling up on solar power? So I created a little solar power station that's, reminiscent of a moisture evaporator. Now I'm looking at the bike and thinking it's just a little too dark. Bring it up. Oops. Come on. Hello. There we go. There. That's better. There. And then also, I like it. I definitely like that better than I like the two cool colors between, or in contrast to the warm colors of the Jawa. The two colors are too similar. I don't know what I was thinking. So let me fix something real quick. Oh, that's weird. Oh, yeah. there's a little bit of a remnant of, yeah. I love Procreate, but if there's one area where I feel like they could really improve, it's the selection tools. Affinity Photos selection tools are, to me, like the gold standard of selection tools and art apps on iPad. And I just feel like Procreate's got a little work to do. I love Procreate, don't get me wrong. I mean, if you follow me on my socials, you know that I'm a Procreate booster. But I do feel like they could really stand to improve their selection tools. All right, so this needs to be changed to a more purple color. Let's just clean up. Oh, come on, what's going on? Really? Still? What is causing that? The line art? That's weird. Oh, it's here. That's why. Ugh. That is so frustrating. See, you really got to be careful when you're using Procreate selection tools sometimes, because yeah, it's actually trained me to be, more careful in general about certain things, so I don't have to worry about that. But there are times when it can be frustrating. So let's go in and just make sure it's all filled. And first throw down sort of a dark purple. What am I doing? And then get a little brighter in there, not that much. Yikes. Just a little brighter to match these colors up here. There we go. Actually, I'll use this. Now let's throw some texture and shadow onto this thing. There's some good texture. Just using a basic charcoal brush for that. Whoa, man, these hours, they pass so quickly. I guess time flies when you're having fun. Right? That old canard. Trying to recreate that little streaks that I gave. Okay. Well, we're on our way. I think that this is probably a good place to start. Or stop. Wow. Seriously. All right. Lots of work to do still, obviously. The basic shadow areas have been laid down, but there's still a lot of work to do on this thing to get it right. Before I go, though, I think I want to just throw down the placement of the suns. Hey, cool Procreate tip here if you don't know about it. You can use the ellipse tool. You can kind of see that to create ellipses. Why is it? There we go. Of any shape. But did you know that you can also make perfect circles by using the ellipse tool and then pressing down one other finger on the screen, and it will adhere to a perfect circle. There's a tip for you. Let's duplicate this. Let's throw one here. And the other one. That's weird. Why is it not? I accidentally touched the screen. There. That was weird. Oh, same thing happened over here. Wonder why that happened. Got somewhere I painted or something. Alright. So that's gonna work. And then we're gonna have clouds sort of directionally going that way eventually. And I'm gonna have a little bit of a distant mountains in the background. I feel like I didn't include enough of that in the first go around. Alright, now we're on the hour, so it's time to say goodbye. Tomorrow is Fan Art Friday. I'm gonna hopefully have this new Halloweenies piece inked. If you go to my Instagram, you can see some past examples of my Halloweenies pieces. It's kids in Halloween costumes from different years, and this one features kids as characters from Watchmen. It's going to be a fun one. I just have a few, like maybe 20 minutes left to inking it, and it'll be done, ready to color. So hopefully I have that ready to color tomorrow for Fan Art Friday. Other than that, please like, subscribe, follow all that good stuff on Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and X, the 5 places that I stream to. I'm Otis Frampton everywhere except for Facebook, where I'm Otis Frampton Art and Stories, because I nuked my personal page many years ago. All right, so that's it. Have a good day. Take care. See you tomorrow.